Jim McGowan, Chief of Police, Downingtown Borough.
George Lutz, I'm the owner at Downingtown Country Gifts.
Jack Law, Director of Public Works for the Borough of Downingtown.
My name's Sean McGettigan, the owner of Station Taproom on the west end of Downingtown.
So I've lived in Downingtown since the 60s. The town itself is very inviting. I think it's a great place to visit, to shop. You know, it's there's a little variety of places, and hopefully that's gonna, continue to grow in the future. We enjoy the camaraderie among the merchants that are in town. If there's an item that we don't carry, we try to direct them to another shop in town. We appreciate that spirit of cooperation and community. Parking has always been an issue in Downingtown. I mean, during the time we've been in business, that's probably one of the biggest topics of discussion among the customers.
Parking enforcement in the business district, it is to create turnover for the businesses, to assure the people that are coming in have a place to park. Some of the parking regulations we are working under now were at one time probably a good idea. They have become antiquated, and the parking infrastructure itself is problematic to positive enforcement also.
These boxes have been in place, I'm guessing 35 years. I don't believe they make these boxes anymore. You'd probably have to go to an antique store to find something like this. Number 5 is empty, but there's a car in number 5. So number 5 is basically parking for free. That vehicle would pay after he received his violation for no payment. The parking enforcement officer would then dump these boxes into the cash box. We have to take our special piece of wire, push it in through the hole, make an attempt, push the cash down into the cash box. Very time consuming. So then we would push this back up and lock it into place, put our special tool back. We would close the box up, lock it, and move to the next parking lot. There's a large accountability that lies on the personnel to do this, because there's no accounting for the money that's in here.
We have a completely outdated parking system. I mean, the meters are old and don't often work, are hard to read, and are confusing. We don't have a system that is the same throughout the borough, and we're behind the times in terms of parking. I've been a board member of the Downingtown Main Street Association for a few years now, and sometimes we're tasked with things from the borough. Steve Sullins came to the Main Street Association and asked us if we'd be able to facilitate finding a parking solution for some of the problems that we're having in the borough with parking, and use them as a resource and kind of be another arm for the borough.
Working with the group from Main Street and the Chamber of Commerce, we've put a lot of time into looking at all the different options that are available to us, and at this point I believe the consensus is, due to monetary constraints, that we would put automated boxes in the surface lots for now, while maintaining the traditional 2-hour parking on the street and some of the metered parking we still have around town. What we've been working on now is highly antiquated. It does not give us the results that we want, that people expect in a modern community like we have now, and that the system that we have spec'd out will not only meet our current needs, but is expandable and scalable, that it will meet our needs into the future. This should allow us to bring us into the 20th century, maybe even the 21st century if we're lucky.
The newer systems would be more efficient, both in enforcement and in paying customers. It could possibly become a no-touch system, except to come out and remove the coins to take them to the bank.
I think the digital kiosks are great. I mean, I think it's where the future is, and it's just so much more convenient to be able to swipe a credit card and pay for that parking space, and to be able to add time to it. If you're, wherever you would be, if you'd be in a store or in a restaurant, you could just, go on your phone maybe and add time to the meter and not have to worry about rushing back or constantly checking your watch. Being a business owner, it's tough for us too. Parking isn't just an issue for the customers. People who are renting apartments in town, they need to have some way to get parking, but yet pay their fair share too. That's the key. We're not looking for free. We've never looked for free. We understand, there's expenses in maintaining that lot. we'd also like the borough to understand our position and be supportive to us as well.
The borough does have a considerable expense in their surface parking lots, and it's only fair that for all the taxpayers, that the people that utilize those lots are the ones that are paying for that privilege. You know, if you don't have proper parking enforcement on the streets, those apartment dwellers could be parking in front of the businesses, not creating a spot for turnover for the businesses themselves.
Well, there's a dedicated parking fund that all of the fines, all of the money associated with these meters goes into, and the money can only be spent on parking. Part of finding new spots, acquiring new land, is coming up with a plan to modernize our parking and figure out how we're going to make it cash positive and roll that into different projects.
We maintain the lots, maintain the striping in the lots, maintain the parking infrastructure as far as the parking boxes, the parking meters. We clean the lots once a week. Approximately 800 stormwater inlets that are falling apart that could be rebuilt because we're not spending time out here on this parking meter box. There's sanitary sewer issues that could be resolved or worked on because we're not out here spending time on the parking meter boxes. Last winter, there were times that we couldn't get out here because we were plowing snow. So the boxes might go 4 weeks without anybody emptying them, which then they become full, which then they become unusable because you can't put money in them. It's disheartening. It's taxpayer funds that are being lost. We can do better in enforcing the parking and making sure that we have better equipment to be able to enforce the parking.
Looking into the future, the importance of this project is that we're going to be ready. We're going to be funded when the time comes that we need parking structures, that we need to acquire land for parking. When we need to fix the problems that we have, the money will be there because this new system is going to be a revenue stream for our parking fund.
You know, between crosswalks in town or increased turnover in the parking lots, you know, I think that's just a great benefit and something that's definitely desired among the business community here.